Welcome to Boys and Brunch. This is the show where we expose everything going down on the timeline. Today we're talking about Will.i.am's upset that the Black Eyed Peas are not considered a part of Black culture, Taraji P. Henson's comments about coming out, straight male Instagram models who get angry at gay attention, and whether Tiffany New York Pollard was being transphobic in a clip from a show. I'm Jarrod D. King, and I'm joined by my co-host, Marcus Haynes. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hey, and Brandon could not be with us today, so we brought in some help. So please welcome back Charles Warren. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me once again.
Now, I just want to double check because I'm using a new software, everyone, and I just want to make sure that you guys are here and that you're with me. So please type something in the chat and let me know that you're watching us. I see somebody's on Periscope. Don't see anybody from YouTube just yet, but we're just going to continue, and people are going to jump in at their leisure, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So Charles, it's great to have you back. Hello, Connected. I see you in the chat. Thank you for assuading my anxiety. This is working. Okay. Charles, it's so what have you been up to lately, Charles?
Oh, so I've been so busy. My dance fitness class launches tomorrow. So I have been learning a lot of new tips and tricks on how to record dance tutorials, online, and editing that and getting audio right and advertisement on Facebook and all those good things. So I've been super busy. I'm sure anybody that does any type of like fitness related work, it's new year, new me. So everybody has to get their class pumping right now. Right now is the time.
Now is the time to absolutely. Everybody always wants to get into that fitness mode on January 1st. So yeah, that's definitely a good thing to do. Hello, Focused. I see you in the chat. Marcus, why don't you tell us what's going on with you today?
What is going on with me? Let's see. So it's New Year. I guess it would be cliche for me to say New Year, new me. But I am, trying to put some things into perspective, trying to work on a couple of things in this new year. I'm doing vegan January, so y'all pray for me. But yeah, just here, ready for another year of shade talking and mimosa drinking.
Okay, all right. And I didn't ask. Well, I forgot to ask Charles because I know, Charles, you didn't bring anything to drink this time because I failed as the host to let you know to bring something. So that's my bad for everyone. So, Marcus, what are you drinking today? What's going on what's in your cup?
So I just finished a mimosa, and now I'm going back to the old standard, to my sweet red wine because I need it.
Okay. I hear that. So what I have been up to, like Charles, I have been super busy just trying to figure out this. I mean, like you see, I got this new setup. I got this new mic. This was my little Christmas gift. Thank you, Mom. Hello. And yeah, I've just been focusing on trying to get my social. I've been doing that for the past couple of weeks. I've been saying that the past couple of weeks that we've been on, but then I've also released merch for Patreon. We've talked about the Bourgeois Brunch. I will talk about a little bit more later. And what I'm drinking today, I've just got black coffee. I'm keeping it. I was like, New Year's Eve was just a little too much for me, so I am cutting it way back. So yes, thank you, Ty. Happy New Year to the Bourgeois. So to the Bourgeois, if at any point you hear something you'd like, please heart it up on the live stream. If you're on Twitter, please, give us some likes. Give us a like on YouTube right now if you're watching on YouTube. I will be watching the comments and doing my best to interact with you and shout you out. And in fact, speaking on the comments, I can actually do stuff like this and post the comments on the screen. Woo! Yes, woo! I'm loving it. So yes, I've got my thing working for me now. We're good. So we're gonna jump to the first topic. We're gonna talk about Will.i.am and what he had to say on an interview. So let's let's jump into that. In an episode of Run That Back on Wyclef Jean's YouTube channel, Will.i.am discussed his disappointment that his group, the Black Eyed Peas, were not considered as part of Black culture. He said, quote, "It's not good for the Black community that Black Eyed Peas is not looked at as a Black group because we've had international success and that should be attributed to the Black community." Marcus, you responded to this on Twitter, and I just want to know, like, could you let us know what you said and if any of your thoughts on the matter have changed since then?
To answer your second question first, absolutely not. But basically what I said was that I'm having a hard time seeing the Black Eyed Peas as a Black group, not because they're successful, but because only like 1.5 of the members are Black. And if I'm not, I'm elderly enough to remember, when don't funk with my heart, that whole thing sort of happened when they really started to blow up. And I remember them specifically being, wanting to have that crossover appeal, wanting to really, appeal to the pop charts and things. So it's just very interesting to me for him to say now, oh well, it's so sad that the Black community doesn't embrace us, but you did literally everything you could to not be embraced by just Black people. So which one is it?
Okay. And Charles, what is your response to that? Or do you have any thoughts?
Not
Interesting.
your response.
Because we're on two ends of the table. Because I see, first and foremost, we have to define what is Black. Because a lot of people don't want to be Black. A lot of Caribbean people don't like to be called Black. A lot of African people don't like it when you call them Black. But for my personal taste, in my opinion, I consider Afro Latinx people Black. So Will.i.am, to me, is not the only Black member of Black Eyed Peas. If you look at the other two male, I don't remember what their names are, I'm sorry, but they are Afro Latino. And I'm like, so 3 of them are Black, just Fergie's the center. I feel like everybody, when they think of Black Eyed Peas, they think of the lead singer, who is Fergie. But a lot of people don't remember they were basically all brown people at the beginning, and I don't.
But that's the thing though. Like you're right. There was, because she's also out, the Black woman who was the original like lead singer before Fergie. She has come out and been like, hey, strength and power to y'all. I'm doing my own deal. But from that kind of begs the question then, like, she's gone. And for at least from what she said, like she left the group. She was kind of pushed out or kind of like left the group of her own accord because she didn't like the direction they were going. And I feel like that kind of feeds more into the idea that, kind of gravitating away from that.
Well, okay, so in response to that, Kim Hill, so she first popped back on the scene when the New York Times did a special on her, like a little documentary of like almost famous people. And she was, talking about how she was in the group at the beginning, and it came into a point where they wanted her to wear like a bathing suit, give sex. They wanted her to be sexy, and she said grind up on Will.i.am in like a music video.
Yeah.
And this is another question. I don't know if you believe she may have overreacted, but as a result of that, she said she wrote a letter to their manager and just said she's out. So she chucked the deuces by choice. And then she kind of seemed regretful when she noticed Oprah saying, oh, the next the in group, Black Eyed Peas. So then she felt like, dang, they did it. Like they did it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll jump in on this section of the conversation.
Okay.
Because I did watch that as well, and I feel as though, yeah, she did make that choice herself, and so I don't necessarily blame the guys for what happened to her. I kind of blame like the record industry and the label for what she kind of went through. I definitely empathize though with her being a little bit pissed off that, you know, once she leaves, once she exits the situation, then it kind of pops off. Like I can understand that. And I don't think that she overreacted. I do think, you know, that's a personal choice whether you're comfortable with showing that much sexuality or whatever. Um so yeah, I don't necessarily think it's an overreaction. And even in the documentary, I think she said she doesn't blame, you know, any of the guys that she was in the group with as well. But I do want to bring it back to this idea of this being like Black music. And I just, you know, I wonder if we place, because one of the things that Will.i.am was saying, and what I think was really his point, I think, you know, a lot of people zoned in on one part of what he said, but he was talking about how you think of jazz or how you think of rock and roll or how you think of country, and you don't think of Black music, you don't think of Black people. And I just want to know, like, do you think we as a community, do we set these strict standards for what should be considered Black music or a Black sound?
Ooh, I have a whole spiel.
Please spill it.
So when he said this, I shouted because it is a parallel between something he said and Kim Hill, since we were just speaking on her. She mentioned in her little documentary on New York Times that it was not cool for them to be happy. Like they were seen as the not cool Black group because they had happy music during their time. And that brings back the imagery of Black people's feelings towards pop music. When someone wants to throw shade at an artist, they'll say, "Oh, she does pop," or but those are pop hits. As if when someone of color, especially a Black woman, does pop music, it strips their soul. If we can go back in time, 1989, Whitney Houston was booed at the Soul Train Awards because the Black community saw her as pop. She was too pop to be Black anymore. And another one of our queens, Miss Janet Jackson, she's probably the most disrespected legend. And it's all because there's too much pop. It's pop music. And it's somehow to people is a lower quality of sound. And I think, so I felt him on that part. Was like, oh, when they make happy and joyful and, you know, jolly music, it's like, oh, well, it's not cool for Black people to do that. So,
Yeah. I mean, you know, what comes to mind for me is, you know, especially when you talk about us making happy music and then it not necessarily being accepted as Black culture or something like that. It's very much it reminds me of Happy by Pharrell. And I just know that after maybe a week, everybody was tired. I mean, I feel like, and I don't know whether this is just my perspective, but I just feel like a lot of Black people were very tired of that song and it just was not cool enough or something. I don't know what it is. And, you know, somebody in the comments, you know, drag me if you need to, let me know. Or Marcus. Yeah, because I know you probably have some more understanding. I don't know. But I just know, like, you know, you see that. And then I've heard people, you know, kind of clown somebody like Khalid, who has a different, more pop sound. But he's a Black artist, but it's like, I've heard people say, you know, he's not with the culture or something like that. I've heard that kind of thing. And so I just think it's interesting. So I mean, but I mean, I guess to answer the question of whether the Black Eyed Peas should be considered a Black group, I mean, it's hard to think of that because, you know, visually Will.i.am is the only Black person on that group. I mean, like you said, you have two other members who are Black, but it's just like, you know, unless you understand what their background is, you don't necessarily know that just by looking at them. And then the sound on top of that is like it's not what is largely considered a Black sound. So, but I mean, I don't know. I think it could be. I think it should be considered an achievement for the Black community to have achieved that much. I don't know if I'm necessarily. I don't know if I'm necessarily mad at. I don't know if I'm necessarily mad at Will.i.am for kind of having that opinion. I don't know. I'm kind of swaying in the midst of this, but I want to hear Marcus. I want to hear more of what Marcus has to say, because I feel like he can maybe school us on some things.
Not school. No, school is out of session. I am not in. No. But no. What on? I think. I think it really boils down to how we define pop, because when you think of pop as far as just popular, like stuff was just like out and pop in the charts, well, then of course Black people make pop music. I mean, some of the biggest stars on the planet are Black people. Beyonce exists, like this. So when you're talking about just like popular music, then yeah, of course Black people make pop music. But I think what a lot of people kind of stray away from when they talk about, or be upset with Black people going pop, is because they're purposefully, trying to appeal to, I'm gonna say, the masses. They're purposely trying to like curb all the quote unquote ethnic stuff from their music and just be like, I just want to make stuff that's happy and safe and yeah, la di da di. And it's like, whatever. And I think a lot of a lot of Black people like see that it's just like, good, you really just trying to top of the charts. Like, and I think the like, you can think of, say for instance, look at somebody like Adele versus a Jasmine Sullivan. Like, people would try to say they make the same type of music, but there's a difference in how Adele approaches the song and how a Jasmine Sullivan approaches the song. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of picking up on, because you have a lot of Black artists who are appealing to like that Adele sound and not the other way around.
Yeah. But I also want to bring up this idea of kind of being a sellout, because I feel like specifically with the Black Eyed Peas, they had a very I remember when they were like this underground kind of group. I was watching, I don't know whether it was, I don't know if y'all like The Box, like the old, like before MTV came even.
I feel like I vaguely remember
I don't know
that.
if I'm showing my age now, but but like I remember watching their videos and stuff. And then all of a sudden to see them come out with, Fergie and like the poppy sound, it was kind of different. And a lot of people are saying that they kind of sold out, they kind of gained some success. But I like, can you blame them? Can you blame them for wanting to be successful and wanting to live off of their art?
That's that's the thing. I feel like Kim Hill said in her doc thing, she was in one place and the other three members were like in, I think they said, East LA.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim Hill was like, why are you doing this? What have you? And the other three people was like, you ain't got to go back to East LA. And when you think about it through that lens, like, you have so many of these people who either they need to make it or they are going back to, sleeping on cardboard boxes type deal. Maybe not that bad, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, and from that perspective, no, you can't. You really can't, because people are gonna do what they got to do to survive. But I think it really just becomes a thing of like, how I guess, where does your like value, your like moral type thing stand? Like, are you more concerned with trying to survive, which somebody can blame you on, or are you more concerned with like actually making a stand? And that's kind of the question you got to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to respond real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Marcus, when you were explaining just right before Jarrod started talking about how most people that do pop music is kind of like watering it down to be for the masses, I feel like that is a it's a common assumption amongst people that often devalue Black pop artists. Because why are we assuming that they just don't like this music? Why do we assume Pharrell didn't like to make the song Happy? Why do we assume that Black people didn't love to make disco, and Janet made Control and Rhythm Nation was poppy, and Beyonce makes pop music, but does that mean she was doing it for white people? I think that's a misconception that a lot of people actually use to say, well, you're selling out because you went pop. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
No, it does.
I don't think it's fair to say, well, because they have this jolly music that somebody forced their hand.
I get you, and you're right. Like, it's not, you shouldn't make that like blanket statement because not everybody's like that. But I think in a lot of cases, that is what happens. Like, you brought up Beyonce. Beyonce has said herself, you know, what she was doing with like B Day and like Dangerously in Love. Well, maybe not Dangerously in Love, but like B Day and is it I Am is different from Four and Lemonade and even self-titled. Like, and she said herself, this is what I wanted to do. Like, this is the type of music I want to make. This is what I want to say. So, like, in her example, yes, like, you do what you got to do in order to get to this place where you can do whatever you want to do and say whatever you want to say. Is everybody like that? No, but I think it's more often than not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Charles, you have some more thoughts there, but we are going to have to move on. We're going to have to save those thoughts for the after show.
All day. Yeah, we can talk about that.
I have to save those thoughts for the after show because we have to move on. Well, before we move on to our next topic, I do want to let everyone know what has been going on with Boys and Brunch and with the Bourgeois and everything. So I have released some merch, and I just want to share with you guys the merchandise that is available real quick. This is going to be real quick. Hold on. If I can share the screen. Hold on. Okay. So here we go. Patreon merch. Okay, wait. How do I present this?
It's not sharing.
Okay. So we had a sticker. I take shade with my tea. We have a mug. Be careful what you say. A t-shirt. I live for your mess because I do. I don't know about y'all, but I do. And we have receipts. You get a nice bag of receipts. So if you join the Patreon, you get our rewards. You get on our rewards program. You stay with us for a little while, and you get those merchandise items. We also have talked about the Bourgeois Brunch. So that's coming March 21st. I have a link in the description. You sign up by signing up for our email list. So that link is in the description. And then you'll be shot over to the Eventbrite page to get your ticket. Now, there are only 17 spots available, and a few of those spots have been taken already. So I want you guys to, join us. That's, you get to bring the topics to us, and then we get to sit on a chat much like this, but it's not going to be streamed. It's just going to be a private event for all of the Bourgeois, and we're going to have some fun. So I'm going to jump into this second topic, which I am calling canceling coming out. So let me maximize my screen. I don't know, you guys, this is new to me. I'm not as professional as I was maybe a couple weeks ago, but I'm trying. Okay, so let me just get used to this new system. On an episode of Peace of Mind with Taraji, actress Taraji P. Henson expressed her feelings about coming out. She said when her little brother came out to her, he did so because he felt safe, and she felt honored that he did that. She then went on to say she has a problem with the idea of coming out. Quote, because that creates trauma, unnecessary anxiety. It creates PTSD. This was backed up with an on-screen quote from the Journal of Happiness Studies. She continued with, quote, I don't have to come out and say I'm heterosexual. Why is it that they have to make this big presentation about something so personal to them? She said this with a full understanding of the societal issues surrounding us, but many people in the LGBT community took that clip and are chanting things online like "end coming out." So, Charles, I want to start with you. Hold on, let me get my screen together. My goodness. What are your reactions to ending coming out? What are your reactions to what Taraji said? And what are your reactions to this idea of ending coming out?
Okay, so in a utopia, like in this perfect society, we would come to a nation and a world where people don't assume heterosexuality as the default. But people have to also understand that we are not there. So Taraji's statement wasn't malice, because watching more of the clip, she was giving credit to Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade for like embracing their child, and she almost broke down into tears and all that. But I feel like she also needs to grasp the fact that there are a lot of homophobic people. Like, homophobia is still the majority. So it sounds great, and maybe one day it will happen, but right now, no.
Okay. And Marcus, any thoughts on that?
See, I'm so glad that we can agree on one thing, because I agree with pretty much I agree with much everything he said. Like, in a perfect world, that would be great. Like, it would be fantastic. But so long as people will still walk to me and be like, "So, um, you found a nice woman yet?" We're gonna need to be able. We're gonna need that coming out experience, because people are always going to assume, and we can't just allow people. We can't. I feel like we need people who are willing to like make that statement, make that stand, like, "Hey, you are not alone. I am here with you."
Yes, Michael.
But no,
Oh,
on a
man.
serious tip, yeah, we need that coming out statement. We
I hear
really
that. I hear that. And I feel like I am in the same boat as you guys. There has been a lot of talk online about just ending coming, and I don't know. I guess maybe I'm from a different generation. I'm a little bit, I'm a millennial, but maybe these are Gen Xers saying this. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, because I get the sentiment, but I tweeted that coming out is just changing the expectations or changing the assumptions of the people closest to you. Um, what I have here? If you're gay, you're coming out regardless, whether it's formal or not. If you show up to the function with your boyfriend and you just don't say
come on, the
anything, that's
function.
coming. You're coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
you're then, like, people are going to assume different things. So it's really an idea of whether or not you control that situation or whether you just leave it up to the imagination. So I don't think coming out is necessarily in and of itself the issue. I think homophobia is the issue, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
that is what I think that's what we should be talking about. I mean, like, saying you shouldn't be compelling people. I don't think anybody's compelling people to come out. There are moments when people are outed. Um, but I don't think anybody really feels, I don't know. I mean, there's a compulsion. I don't know. I mean, I think when I came out, there was a compulsion for me to live truthfully and to not have any, to let my family know who I was and to be accepted and to just let the chips fall where they may. I think that that's what it was. I don't think it was I have to come out because everybody else is doing it. I don't think that that's
Yeah.
necessarily what it was. So do you think that, like, what do you think of the people who say that, though? Like, do you think that this is a generational thing? Do you think this is a Twitter being extra type of thing, or what is it?
I don't think it's I don't just think it's necessarily Twitter being extra, because I think it is I think it is kind of a generational thing, because we're getting more and more to the point where, yes, I like the compliment. um, I think it is. I think it is like a generational thing because you have a lot of people, a lot of younger people now who, this is kind of just like water off their back. Like they don't really think about it like that. So they're just like, oh, I don't need to come out. Whatever. It's not that serious, and that's a bigger deal. But I think even us, even probably maybe even people just in their 20s are probably like, no, this still matters. Things are better now. It's not as assumed now. But the fact still remains that most people in the world are going to assume you're heterosexual until you say that you're not.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I agree. And I believe most people that say things like this are straight people, specifically homophobic people
Uh-oh.
that don't like their realities to be shattered. Because the more people that come out shatter this misconception that they've been told all their life that they don't exist. Gay people are like 2% of the population. That's rare. It's an ungodly thing. The more gay people that keep coming out, it's shattering that myth for them. And it's kind of like a shatter to the system for them. So they're kind of like, you guys need to slow down. All of a sudden, y'all are becoming gay and this new gay trend. And it's, no, girl, you just finally seeing the truth. So yeah, and it's a similar argument with movies and representation. They don't like for the truth to be put in their face because it goes against what they've been told.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've also I don't know how if you guys have ever experienced this, but I've dated. Well, I went on a date because there was no second date. There was no second date, but it wasn't because of this. But there was no second date. But but I remember dating a guy, and he said something like, I don't feel like I have to come out, or I don't or why do you have to say anything, or what, and I mean, I get that kind of. I just don't feel like I want to hide anything to the people that are closest to me. And I understand if your family, there are different situations for everybody, and your family may not be open to that. But if you feel that your family would be, or if you why wouldn't you want to have that known and then move on? I mean, it's not like, I don't know. Maybe we need somebody from Gen Z generation to be in here and let us know, teach us something.
But I think even deeper than that, if we don't vocalize it, if we're not loud about it, they will erase us from history.
Okay.
Mic drop. That's the end of that topic.
All right. So yeah, I
mean,
I guess we kind of agree on that. There's really not a whole lot of back and forth that we can have with that. We'll have to see what happens once I post this on Twitter. Maybe Twitter will tear us up. We'll see. We'll see when that happens. But our next topic is sex sells, and popular fitness Instagrammer Duke and Duca posted this picture. Now I'm going to share this real quick. Here we go. So he says he posted a DM that he got. Can you guys see it? Hold on. Let me see if I can put this in the stream. Add to the stream. There we go. So he posted this picture of his DM. Somebody jumped in his DMs and said, "Are you straight?" He replied, "Yes, I am a heterosexual man who happens to be hit on by tons of gay men 24/7. So there's that. Let me get back to my script. So Twitter user @QSeanBuckingham responded to this picture in a tweet and said, quote, "So to be fair, I am starting to see why some of these straight men snap and make videos ranting about their sexuality. Duke is not homophobic, but after saying I am straight on repeat and still being asked over and over has to be exhausting." So my question to you guys, what do you think about straight men who sell sex, and then get mad at gay attention? Marcus, let's start with you.
Oh. um. I wish that we would let them people go where they go, because when you get up and you get mad about the people who are literally, buttering your bread, you don't deserve buttered bread no more. I wish that we would let these people go by the wayside. Hows and ever, I don't necessarily see what he did as being like, oh, he got mad. Like maybe I'm missing like more context, but I feel like what he said was just basic, just like, yeah, I'm not. I just get hit on a lot. Like I feel like that was kind of base level versus people who go on like full blown like rants. I am a straight man and stuff like that.
Charles, what are your reactions?
I think it was necessarily his supporters, maybe, because I think the link that you sent me, Jarrod, it was another man speaking up for him on his behalf. Like, gays need to leave him alone. He's not gay. So it wasn't him per se, but I think it was other straight men that wanted to have his back, quote unquote. But when it comes to this Duke guy, so I never heard of him, didn't know who he was. I thought he was like a OnlyFans or somebody. So I went to his social media and, scrolled down the page, and there's not one photo, not one, with him and a female. So this goes back to us assuming that you're heterosexual. How in the world could someone looking at your page of just you and other men, there's no females on your page, assume that you're a heterosexual man? So again, I think it's okay to ask somebody, hey, are you straight? Are you gay? Are you bi? I don't think people should be so offended by just the question.
Right. Now, yeah. I mean, I feel like when you put yourself out there, and let's be clear, he's a fitness Instagrammer. He is not, he's not showing. I mean, okay, so he's a fitness Instagrammer, but he posts a lot of sexy kind of pictures. He posts some like strictly fitness pictures, but he posts a lot of sexy pictures too. So, when you're putting that kind of energy out there, I don't think somebody jumping in your DMs and asking what the deal is,
right,
is then grounds to be upset or something. I feel like you kind of have to expect that kind of reaction. Now, I'm not saying that it's right for anybody to just step in there and be completely vulgar or anything like that. But, I think there's Instagram has a dating app kind of vibe to it already. Like if you're on there, what the deal is, especially if you're one of these super hot people that and that's what you get all of your likes from. I don't think that's grounds to even post what Duke posted. You know what I'm saying? So now let me just double check. Did you guys, because I'm seeing that some people did not see the photo that I was trying to share on the screen. Did you guys see it?
Nope.
Okay. Is it even worth putting it back up?
It's okay.
I mean, some people may enjoy him being back on the screen.
Well, I'm sorry that it did not come up. I had it up for a minute, but I guess I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I'll figure it out next time because I have something else to share as well. But we'll figure it out. But yeah, I just felt like even that little interaction that he had was a little bit like, okay, like what's really the deal? Like it doesn't need, like, I feel like if that happens, you can just ignore it. Let it go.
So question. So did he post the DM? He posted the DM of like the person asking him and him responding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And see that does go back to the thing, like, why did you feel the need to post it? Like, I guess I'm kind of amending my earlier statement. I don't think there's necessarily an issue with him saying that to the person, but the fact that you wouldn't put this up on social media, kind of be like, stop asking me this when you out here, flex. 99% of photos are out here flexing shirtless. Pose like Charles said, pose with other dudes. Then yeah, you probably do need to say something about it. Probably do need to get it together.
Right. Now I do understand that there is not like my thing is it's like if you were to just be posting like strictly fitness tips and you're in the gym or whatever, but if you look at his feed, it's very much, he's shirtless, he's up on the couch with his legs like, it's just like open, like not like not like pornographic, but definitely like, very
We know what it
very
is.
sexual.
But
you know what it is.
he has a lot of very booty to the front pictures. So he
Yeah.
knows
Come on,
who's
booty to the
looking.
front.
Right.
He knows who's looking.
All right, and
Let's
that's my
stop playing
other
with it.
that's my
Don't
other
play
point.
with it.
It's like a lot of these people will start doing squat videos, but the camera angle all of a sudden shifts over to like the back, and it's just like, all right, now, like we know what you're doing. Like, come on. So I'm like, don't get mad when people like are interested because you want people to be interested. You know what I'm saying?
You know
Go
who this
ahead.
reminds? It reminds me of the whole thing with Nathaniel Noir. Like he literally made his whole like following up from showing his ass on Instagram. And he used to get mad in the comments. That was why we would comment on it. I said, but you're wearing these same tight little gray shorts, turn to the side, doing your squats, like your whole brand. You literally have a Get a Better Booty video like series. But you mad when dudes come and hit you up. Like it's just it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. And it just really just boils down to these people are just really trying to make a quick buck because they know many folks is, looking. And
Yeah.
it's mess. I just back to I wish that we could leave these people alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's, and I just want to be completely clear that we are not saying that is an invitation for you to jump in the DMs and be crazy. But
yeah, don't wild out in the DMs.
Right. But we're saying like you're inviting people to think of you a certain way and to interact with you a certain way. And so don't get mad when you get that kind of a reaction. Now, I will say that with women, I hear it's a different experience. They could be posting, candles or something and people jump in the DMs and they get crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different but I'm just saying like dudes are crazy. So I get that may be part of Duke's experience since we're talking about his example. But I feel like maybe that would have been the example that you showed as opposed to somebody just saying, "Hey, are you straight?"
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, they actually have a term for this, queer baiting.
Yes.
And a lot of white male celebrities do this all the time. Shawn Mendes, the guy from the Jonas Brothers, they do sexually, not explicit content, but things that they know are going to attract gay men.
Suggestive.
So they can get their followers up and then pivot to, oh no, I'm with her. Yeah, so
yeah. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. So I just want to ask you guys, have you ever jumped into the DMs of someone you weren't sure about? And would you? Charles? Wow.
So I'm very upfront. I've slid in the DMs. Yes, I have. I know. No, and I don't make the assumption. That's first and foremost. If I don't see you with photos with other people, like with females, saying that you were dating them or this is my girlfriend, ex-girl, then why not? I will say hello with the quickness.
Okay. I hear you. I hear that, Marcus.
Have I slid in the DMs? No. Have I asked in person? Well,
Really? Now, I feel like that's
yeah.
even. Now, how does that work out? I want to know how that works out because like teach me some things because I could never.
I mean, you know the whole deal. Not sure, so you be like, you invite them to go smoke, and I don't even smoke. You go, y'all start drinking, and you shoot your shot and see what happens. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you get airball, but you live to play the game
Okay.
another day.
Now, see, I have jumped into some DMs once in a while, and I'll always it'll be very vague. I'll be like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. I saw you. Thank you for liking my pictures. If you liked like 10 of my pictures, and now you want to act brand new, like whatever." Um, I'm like, okay, now what's the deal? But I always try to look at, like, if I'm on Instagram, I'll try to look at all of the people that are liking and commenting under their photos because I feel like that will tell you. If it's a
That would
bunch of
tell all.
girls, then okay, this is their audience,
No,
But
you have to
if it's
look.
a
You
bunch of
have to look
guys,
at the follow account. You have to look at the followers. You have to look at the
yes.
followers and the following.
And the following, exactly, because that will tell you a lot of things. That will tell you a lot of things. But yeah, as far as asking a guy out or asking what the deal is in person, like I don't have that ability, Marcus. My hat's off to you.
Ooh, y'all,
Oh
I was something
man,
serious in my early 20s. I was something
really?
serious. Hmm.
Have
No,
you?
I don't approach in person. That's
No.
mm-mm.
I feel like if it's a neutral space, like if it's well, I guess you would call it a straight space. No, I would not say anything. But if I'm like I don't know. Well, if I'm in a gay space, I'm just going to assume
Or
that you're gay. But I have
But you
had,
can't even do that.
right, you can't even do that, right? Because I've had people getting mad at me for approaching them in a gay bar. And it's like, well, dude, you know where you are. Like, and has that ever happened to y'all?
I never had anybody get mad.
Say that again.
I just said I've never had anybody get mad. I've had somebody be like, because most, at least in my experience, most of the time, people who are in there are a little bit more open minded. So they'll just be like, no. They're like, okay, but I ain't
Mm-hmm.
had anybody get mad.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a guy almost he gave me the eye like he was about to like punch me or something because I had approached him. I was just like, okay, your energy is way off for being up in voyeur on a Friday night, but okay.
But why are you here? But
Exactly. But whatever. I guess we'll move on to our final topic. This one is titled Transphobic Tiffany with a question mark. So, in an episode of One More Chance on the Zeus Network, Tiffany New York Pollard caused a stir. This is a dating show with a format similar to The Bachelor, and New York seemed to be a judge of some sort. I'm not entirely sure. I don't subscribe to the channel. I don't watch the show. I wasn't sure if she's a guest or a series regular. So, putting that note out
I
there.
can I can give you a bit.
Okay.
Ba-
What's
basically, it's Chance's version of I Love New York, Flavor of Love. Him and Real had their original show where they were trying to find
mhm.
love, but we know, Real has gone on to glory. So now Chance is doing it again, and they brought New York. Well, he brought New York in as like kind of like the guest host. Like New York was a guest person on Flavor of Love. Brigitte was on the first season. I think some people came. I think Real and Chance. I think somebody came. I think Chance came into New York show. So he was just a guest person, just kind of try to feel out, who was really there for, quote unquote, really there for Chance because
Gotcha.
she, quote unquote, knows him so well.
Okay. Got you. All right. So in a viral clip, New York tells contestant Believable she thinks she's a man. Believable shrugs it off and says, I know I'm not. New York follows up with, and I'm paraphrasing that, does it F with you when I say you have a penis and balls and sweaty dick?
Whoa.
So over the top. Believable says no. New York says, and that's what scares me, and then eliminates her from the competition. After an outpouring of social media responses calling her transphobic, New York had this to say. Now, I am going to try my best to play this video. If this does not work, then I'm going to, smack myself. But let's try this. Share audio, share. Can you guys see the screen? Give me a
The
thumbs
screen is
up or
coming.
something.
It's coming. It's coming.
Okay. I'm gonna play this.
Okay. At me today, and there's no reason to be. Let me say this and say it loud, free, and clearly that I am not transphobic. I could never be. I can't even play that way. I don't have a transphobic bone in my body. I love and respect everyone in the community. You guys always show up and show out for me, and the love is real. And you should know that. I want you to feel that way. And let's just say that clip that was seen, the woman in the clip was not transgendered, okay? And I myself was born a woman, and I always get mistaken as a man. Everywhere I go, the grocery store, the airport, I hear whispers. Oh, that's a man, that's a guy. Oh, I know it. Instead of allowing that to bother me, you know what I do, guys? Because it's the story of my life, really. I internalize that as strength. And I go, yeah, okay, you think I'm a man. Well, that's because you're intimidated right now. You wish you looked as good as I did. And I can steal your man. So those are the types of things that come to mind when I think that way. So me calling her a man, it wasn't really like anything disrespectful. It was just me enduring and actually, going through what I go through on a regular basis and just putting that on her and see how she can handle it. But I would have never disrespected anyone. Like I said, we had a wonderful time on set. The young lady is beautiful, and yeah.
All right. So that's what New York had to say. Marcus, I see you shaking your head. I feel like you have some thoughts. What were your thoughts initially, and did they change after seeing her response?
I think it just fits that I would just like drop a New York gift right here to be like, no, not you, not you. Because that was my response, and that is still my response. I'm just like, God damn it, Tiffany. Because, I mean, cause I don't think she really understands what transphobic is. I don't think she really understands what an apology is because, yeah, she did not do well with either of those things. Like, it just it hurts my heart that that she does this. Though I guess at the end of the day I shouldn't be surprised because that's what she's done it before. Like one of her big things was calling Delicious a man. She called Delicious's mom. What she said, I never knew a human could sprout plastic hair. Like she did. She's done this before, and I guess we shouldn't be surprised that she said something similar to this in now. But it was just it no. Her apology was trash. The statement was trash. And New York, you can't be mad if people throw you in the trash now.
Charles, how are you feeling about this? Because I feel like in our conversation, I have kind of gone back and forth and I'm trying to wrestle with both sides of this in my head. I just want to know what you're thinking.
Okay, so there's two different parts to it. Her statement was ignorant. Because even if she did have titties at the top, dick at the bottom, she wouldn't be called a man. So that's the first part that was throwing people for a loop, that she kept saying man, man, man. On the other hand, I don't genuinely believe that Tiffany is transphobic. I do believe because of her ignorant statement for the cameras or for whatever may have you, for whatever the circumstances were, it created a knee-jerk reaction for people that have trigger words. And I saw a lot of trans allies speaking on the behalf of trans people. Now, I would never want to speak on the behalf of anyone, but I always look for trans people to have an issue with something, or gay people to have an issue with something, or black people to speak on their own behalves. A YouTuber that I watch is Blair White. She's trans, and she speaks on a lot of these topics basically afterwards. Things that we, well, not we, don't throw me in there, that the community deem transphobic and these different things. She breaks them down at their core and says, wait, y'all, trans people don't even have an issue with this clip. We're worried about other things. And these are people that are like 12 and 13 wanting to speak on our behalf. So my thing is, her statement was ignorant. Do I believe she's transphobic? No. But I would look to trans people to see how they actually feel about the situation, and not teenagers on Twitter or your favorite drag queen.
Gotcha. Okay. Marcus, did you have a response to that?
I have seen trans people that have been like, this is absolute garbage. So there's that. But that boils down to different audiences or what have you. But I think it's one of those things where it's like, in her mind, in Tiffany's mind, she may not have been malicious. She may not have thought that, she may not be intentionally like transphobic or what have you. But to me, it's no different from, the well-intentioned white people who end up being racist as hell. Like, just because you say I don't have honestly, saying that I don't have a transphobic bone is a red flag to me. But when you say stuff like that, and you might not think that you're being harmful, but at the end of the day, you really are. It's to me, it's no different from saying like, oh, I don't see color. No, sis, because if you don't see color, you don't see my black face. So there's an issue. There's an issue there. So I feel like that's kind of what it is, because even in her apology, she doesn't understand why people are saying this is transphobic. One of her defenses was that, oh, the woman isn't actually trans, so it doesn't really matter. No, it's the fact that you eliminated her for quote unquote being a man. That's transphobic. Like, it just is. So I think for me, was what Tiffany said transphobic? Yes. Do I think that she was being malicious? No. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So what does it matter if you're malicious or not?
Preach.
I got you. So I want to challenge you a little bit, Marcus, because you said that she eliminated her for being a man. And I think she eliminated her for her reaction to what she said, for not being as incensed of that label that she threw on her based on the apology video that we got. I will say that was not an apology. I don't think New York would call that an apology. I don't think she would call it. I don't think it was an apology. There was no I'm sorry. There was just an explanation of what she did. I do think that she owes the trans community an apology for that. I think it needs to be, I feel like for some people, and I know how I am, it needs to be made plain to me exactly how I aired in one way for me to then apologize for that. And I feel like that's probably where the disconnect is for her, and why she may not have just explicitly said I'm sorry, because I mean, I don't know her, but I just know me. I like to apologize genuinely, and if I can't, and if me just saying, I'm sorry, blah blah blah, just to get on everybody's good side, that's not how I roll. So,
yeah, but you have to be careful with the I'm sorry words, especially on a public platform. So the first part, going back to what Marcus said, I completely agree. I think Tiffany doesn't understand which part she said that upset everyone.
Mhm,
So I think
mhm.
the ignorance comes into her saying that everyone with dick and balls is a man. I think that is the big part that she doesn't understand, that she said and triggered a community of people. On the other hand, I don't think you should ever just come out and say, I'm sorry, because people are mad. Don't just ever just say, oh, guys,
I
I'm
agree with that.
sorry, without understanding, because then you're omitting guilt and you're taking whatever they give you.
No, that's
Yeah.
real. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Like you saying I'm sorry means nothing to me. Like how you apologize to me is with change behavior. If you say I'm sorry and you go right back to doing whatever you were doing, you weren't sorry. Like, and I think that's the issue here. I think she doesn't know what it is that she's sorry for. She just knows that she was trending on Twitter and it wasn't anything good. So the whoever her publicist is was like, hey, you need to make an apology video. And for a lot of people, that would be enough. I'm a fan of New York. I must say I've enjoyed her for many years now. But that ain't enough, sis. Because you can make your mouth say anything. You ain't saying nothing. You just talking. You're not really apologizing because you know what you're apologizing for.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I definitely wanted to get a trans co-host to join us this week. Unfortunately, I was not able to do that, but I do want to hear more from the trans community. So if you can uh, speak to us on this issue when I post the clip up, or if you are watching this in the replay, please give us a comment below and let us know your thoughts on this, because I do not want to cancel out your voices in this conversation at all. This is definitely all about y'all. So Charles, why don't you let the viewers know where to find you online? Let's wrap this up. We are a little bit over, but I think we're making good time.
It was a great conversation. Every topic. Boom, boom, boom. I loved it.
Twice. Twice.
Yes. Again, thank you for having me. Always, always.
Of course.
So you can find me on Instagram, the Charles Warren. You can find me on Twitter, Charles Warren _, or you can join my online dance fitness class, which launches tomorrow at charleswarren.online. So I'm really excited about that. That's what I've been busy killing myself over, but we got to get in shape, get the moving.
Awesome. I love it. Now you can also follow Marcus and I on Twitter as well. Marcus, why don't you let us know where you can be found as well?
I can be found at Loose as a Deuce, LOOSEASADEUCE, spell Deuce correctly, on pretty much everything. If you search me on pretty much any platform, it'll probably bring me up. And yeah, find me, follow me, talk to me. I love to talk.
Awesome. And I can also be found on Twitter at Jarrod D. King, and I guess everywhere else except for YouTube. I'm just Jarrod King, but you can search Jarrod D. King. I'll come up. Just find me. You're probably on YouTube right now, so just hit the subscribe button and we'll be good. You won't have to do that anymore. So if you enjoyed our conversation and want to see more, go to boysandbrunch.com, sign up for our Patreon, where you'll get exclusive access to our after show, Splitting the Bill. This is where we get more relaxed and say the things that we meant to say on the main show. So everybody, I think it's time for our toast. Let's get our glasses. Charles, you can just give us a bourgeois, like pinkies up. There we go.
Yes. but yes.
Yes. So until next time, be careful what you say, because the boys will brunch. Take care.
Yes.